Hi everyone, this is a video about meeting traffic, which basically means there's parked cars around. If there is parked cars on both sides of the road, I personally call that situation a mess. You're coming up to a mess, right? I always say that to my students because if there was one car on one side of the road, the knowledge about priority would be very simple. If the car's parked on your side, it's the other person's priority. If the car is parked on the other person's side, it's your priority, right? Written down textbook stuff, right? As it's running properly. But if there is parked cars on both sides of the road, it's a mess. You're going into a mess. Now, you don't want to enter the mess unless it's clean in there, right? So what I mean by that is if somebody's already in the mess coming through the centre, you don't even want to start, yeah? So the other day, me and my student had one car on our side, and then the other side of the road had loads of parked cars, loads and loads and loads. And then there was a car coming towards us, which was already committed to that space. And then my student overtook the first car, which I'm afraid is wrong. We had more opportunity to stop in that situation, so we shouldn't have entered the mess. If somebody is already in the mess, we shouldn't go into the mess because it makes it messier, right? It's literally that simple. If we're in the mess, we wouldn't expect a car to come into the mess with us because, again, it would make it messier. So when there's parked cars on both sides, analyse it carefully, come up to it and think, there's parked cars on both sides of the road. The whole road is a total mess. Is anybody in the mess? Is anybody coming through the centre of the mess? And if they are, you definitely don't enter. If you've got more opportunity to stop because there's less cars on your side and you haven't even entered, you haven't even turned the wheel to the right to overtake the first parked car, be careful if somebody's coming, right? If they're already committed to the space, you've got more opportunity to stop. So you should be the person who stops if you've got like less cars on your side and you haven't entered yet. All right. So think of it as a mess. The road is a mess and you don't want to enter the mess unless it's clean, right? There's nothing in there. You do not want to make the situation messier.
I will just add in this extra bit actually when there's loads of parked cars around. If you're coming into a situation where there's parked cars on both sides of the road, so you've literally only got a path that's big enough for one car, and there was someone coming towards you here and here. The choices could be, I call it the conveyor belt and the ribbon, all right? And I'll explain more in a second. So this is you coming up and he's coming there. Now, if this person decides to stop here like that, if he's got a lot of people behind him, that would be a good method for him to have, because he could just stop here, stop all of the traffic ahead and wait for you just to calmly come down and go into the space. Once you're in the space, he can then take himself and the rest of the traffic through and then you can go. So I call that the conveyor belt because he stopped and then you stopped, he went and then you went. So it just makes me feel like it's a conveyor belt. Okay. The other choice is the ribbon technique that I like to call it. If he's on his own, he could come down and he could stop opposite this gap here. And what that will do is it will create space in front of him and behind. So he stops here and he waits for you to come up and you go into the left and ribbon round him. So there's no stopping. That's the ribbon technique. So from your point of view, all right, so here you are coming up. Yeah, he's coming down. All right. So your choices can be conveyor belt. So especially if you've got people behind you, come up and stop here. He will then go in there and stop. And then you go and taking all the traffic behind you as well. Or if you can see that it's just him really, and you're on your own as well, you could stop opposite the gap here and then he could just ribbon behind you. So conveyor belt and ribbon technique, I like to call it.
All right, guys, that's what I've got for you today. I hope that helps and I'll see you on the next one.